Yeah, so the purpose of this video is to explain, our setups. So we have an actual playbook video. This is not this is gonna be similar, but it's not really gonna be the playbook video. The playbook video is gonna have a lot more information that you need. But at the very least, I want to give you guys a baseline of what we do. I want to give you guys explain the setup, because you guys hear us talk about it a lot during the live streams. You might hear me say the breakout trade, and you guys are like, what is a breakout trade, or why is it buy support? And for until now, all you've ever had was a screenshot of those playbook videos. So what I want to do is I want to spend the next 30-40 minutes explaining every setup, right? Boom, 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 boom. That way that you, at the very least, you have you all have understanding of the setups, right? And obviously the playbook video is going to be in the academy. Is going to be more in detail. We're going to talk in the playbook video. We talk about a lot more stuff, and in this video, I'm just going to go very quickly through all the setups, all the entry models. I'm going to show you some examples, and then we're going to do a Q&A and then a giveaway. So the video is only going to include these first three, and then we're going to do the rest here in the live stream, and then we're going to go from there. So let's talk a little bit more about the setups, right? So like I said, let me explain to you why a playbook is important real quick though. So a playbook is very important, bro, because the playbook gives you something to look for, right? So the reason why a lot of people are become very impatient and very undisciplined in their trading is because they don't have anything to look after, right? They don't have anything to look forward to. So when we come to the setups, to the sessions, we have something to look forward to, and that is called the playbook. We already know what to look for, right? So people get very impatient because they don't have anything to really look forward to, right? They don't have a strategy, they don't have a setup, and if they do, it's some ICT nonsense that's not really going to help them in any type of way. So all they do is just come to the market and they trade based on how they feel, based on how it looks, and this is going to at very least give you a plan, something to look forward to when you come to the market. You can say, hey, look, man, I'm gonna take a breakout trade today. I'm gonna take a break and retest. I'm gonna take a buy of support, and now you have something to look forward to, right? So I think it should be the head and shoulder shampoo pattern. Yeah. So I mean, this is going to give you something that has a very high win rate, 95% win rate on this playbook. We have 3 setups, right? So our playbook consists of 3 setups. We got the breakout trade, the break and retest, and the buy off support. And we also have 2 entry models. And this playbook, along with our rule book and along with trade management and correlation and all that stuff that we have in the academy, this is what gives you the 95% win rate. With just this playbook, just this video, you should be able to at the very least hit like an 85% win rate. And I think that should be pretty good, right? So I'm going to try to go through all of this very quickly and give you a full understanding of what it is that we do here. And so just bear with me. I'm going to try to go fast. You can always rewatch this video. And I think we can get started, man. I want to get straight into it. I'm really excited to talk about it with you guys. I'm really excited to tell you guys what we're about. So let's see what you guys if you have any comments, leave it in the comment section, and I think we can I can answer them from there, or just hop into Discord, right? So I think let's see if we can get started here, man. So like I said, first things first, I want to explain the setup. So I'm going to go through every single setup, and along the way, I'm going to explain the entry models, right? So I will show you the entry models, and then I'll show you some examples, right? So this will be pretty quick. Let's talk about first the breakout trade. So the breakout trade is one of the oldest books, the oldest play in the book, right? Is the breakout trade. The reason why the playbook works is because we're not the only ones looking for the playbook, right? For the playbook setups, there's a lot of people looking for these playbook setups. There's institutions, there's, all kinds of people looking for these playbook. So the reason why it works is because we have participants in the market. We have enough participants to be able to push the market. When we see a breakout trade, we're not the only one taking it. So that's where the volume kicks in, right? There's a lot of people taking that breakout trade. The reason why stuff like ICT and all this other stuff don't work is because there's not enough participants in that, right? In that strategy, there's not enough participants to make that work. So the reason why this playbook works is because, like I said, when we come to the market and the market's looking like this, there's really only one way for us price action traders and support and resistance traders. There's really only one way that we can trade it. So let me draw up a few candles here. Just bear with me. I should have done this a little bit earlier, but I think it'd be fun, right? You guys can hang around a little bit. Just give me like a few seconds here, and then I'm gonna draw this out just like this. And I want to draw a ranging market. So let's say the market's coming down like this, right? You come to the market. This, by the way, this is, I'm going to talk about buy ideas, and this is going to be the same for sell ideas as well too. If you're looking for sells, right? So you wanna, if you come to the market and you see something like this, where you start to see some candles like this, and they're forming, and let's say now they're kind of ranging a little bit like this. I'm gonna try to go pretty quickly here, and then now you're coming back down, like that. Boom, boom, like that, right? Let's see, we're just ranging a little bit, right? You come to the market and you're just ranging, right? Just like this. So what do you do in this scenario, right? Let's say you come here and you do like, okay, all right, so here's my supports right here. This is my support, right? And then this is my resistance. So when we come to the market and we see a ranging market, something like this, and it's not, it doesn't have to necessarily look exactly like this. This is just a representation of what a ranging market could look like, right? So we come to the market and the market's ranging. You have a nice clean range here, right? You got a nice clean range. You got a pullback, and now the market's just going sideways, right? So, if you come here, at this point, all you got to wait for is what we called a breakout trade, right? So the breakout trade looks like this. It's very important that you have this sort of a pause here before the breakout, because you don't want to be overextended, right? You don't want to be breaking out from the bottom of the range, but all you want to wait for is a candle to close above. Boom. And it's very important that you must wait for that candle to close. A lot of people will try to take the breakout as it's breaking above the range, and that is not something you want to do, because a lot of times you'll break out of the range like this and then you close back in it, and then the next candle just keeps pushing down, and now you're caught up in a trade, right? You're caught up in a trade that's not a valid trade anymore. So now that you have the breakout, right? So let's analyze what just happened. You had a nice little pullback. You started ranging a little bit, it's going sideways. You have your resistance up here and you have your support. You have clean range on the left, and now you have a candle that closed above the range. So what happened here was this candle here was able to do what most candles weren't able to do, and it closed above the range. So now that you have a closure above the range, that's what we called a breakout play, right? Simple. It's literally that simple. You come to the market, you look at the charts, you find your resistance, you find your support, and you wait for a breakout. This is how the breakout trade works. And then the next candle, what you're going to do is you're going to wait for the next candle to give you a bottom wick. This now we're getting into the entry models, right? So the question is, now you have a breakout trade. How do you enter that trade? You don't just press buy. You don't just hit the buy button and start buying this market in. Now you got to refine this trade with the proper entry model. And this is where the entry models come into play. So we got one that we call the entry model previous candle entry, right? Previous candle entry. And we also have another one called current candle entry, and we're going to go through that one as well. So previous candle entry, all that really means is that now you're going to wait for the next candle to give you a bottom wick. It's very important for you to get that bottom wick there, because that bottom wick is going to represent your stop loss. And we understand that all candles, 90% of candles have a top wick and a bottom wick. So it's very important for this candle, your trading candle. So this candle here that closed, that is your confirmation candle. What time frame are the best to use? 15. Yeah. So these candles, these entries, these setups are all gonna work on best in the 50-minute time frame. I would not go any lower than the 50-minute time frame. Great question there, man. So yeah, so now that you have this, you see this confirmation candle, that's your confirmation candle, right? So now that you have your confirmation candle, you must wait for the next candle to give you a bottom wick, right? And obviously, if you're looking for sales, you're going to need that top wick, because this top wick is going to represent your stop loss. And we know that the last thing you want to do is enter a trade where it doesn't have a top wick. And then the next thing that happens is this candle pushes up. Let's say you don't have a top wick here like that, right? And then this candle pushes up, you're in a trade, and then it just starts closing below the range. So now that top bottom wick is established, you know that there should be no reason for this candle to come back down to break those lows unless it's going to reverse on you. And that's why this is where you place your stop loss. This is your stop loss right below. You'd put a couple pips below the range, allow for some spread or something. And then you put your stop loss up here. Now you got a proper entry model. So now this trade is sitting like you have a buy stop up here waiting to get activated. You have your stop loss down here. Once you get activated, obviously you drag it down, or if you can put it before, it's up to you, whatever your platform allows, right? So now that you have a bottom wick here, Now you're just waiting to get activated in this trade, and the issue, the good thing about this is there's a lot of times that traders will market execute on these breakouts, and then this candle just does this, but you didn't get activated. Why? Because you're a patient, disciplined trader, and you understand the playbook. You watch this video and you understand the entry models. So now, once this candle comes back up to break those highs, boom, you're activated, right? And that goes straight to TP, right? That goes straight to TP like that. You hit your TP, you take partials at your level, and then there you go. Now you have a proper breakout trade with a proper entry model, right? So any questions before we move on? So this is a classic breakout trade. It's very important, right? So let's explain a few things here. Very important for this candle to close. So it's very important for this confirmation candle to close above the range, and you don't want it to close too overextended, right? So we're going to talk about the overextended breakout right now up next, right? We're going to talk about what an overextended breakout looks like. So the reason why this was an overextended was because this candle, so if you think about it, let's say if this candle had closed like this, right? Let me go back a little bit. If this candle had closed a little bit like this, then this would have been an overextended candle, an overextended closure. If this candle had done this, right? This would have been an overextended candle, right? So you would not enter this trade because now you've already filled the entire range. So what makes this breakout trade so powerful is because you close at the bottom of the range, right? Up here. You close down here, I mean, close to that range. So now you have plenty of room to hit your TP and to trade, right? So you don't want that candle to be overextended. But the question is, what happens when you do get an overextended breakout? And I figured this out after, taking a few, I took a lot of breakout trades, and I was the type of person that would take every single breakout trade that I saw, right? I took thousands of breakout trades, and in that process, I started to realize something, that every time I would take a breakout trade that was overextended, almost every time I would hit my stop loss, right? So that was a low probability trade, and we're all about trading, taking high probability setups, right? So this is what would happen most of the time. Let me see if I can draw this out real quick, and then we'll get into that. So yeah, so you want to be able to avoid those overextended breakouts, man. But this is what comes into play after you have an overextended breakout, right? Let's say you got candles coming down like this, back to the range. Same idea here. This represents a ranging market. Obviously, it's not going to look exactly like this every single time, but this is just a representation of what a ranging market could look like, right? So now we're doing like this, and let's say now you got your support like this. You got your support right down here, right? This is your support, and then this is your resistance, right? Just like that. And now you're just waiting for a breakout above the range, and then you obviously get your pause candle there, which is very important, and then you get the next candle to close above the range. But let's say instead of closing just beautiful like this, close to the bottom of the range, let's say you close above like this, right? Now you're closing just like this, and you're overextended, and at this point it's like, man, you can't really take that trade. You're overextended. A lot of times what would happen is I would take this trade, and very quickly I'd get caught up in something like this, where I would have my order up here, right? And then the next candle activates me, and then it does something like this, right? This would happen to me more than often, right? This would happen so many times, and now I'm in a trade where I'm in drawdown, or I'm stopped out. I'm always get stopped out in this trade. But here's the issue. The issue was that this candle was overextended, right? This is an overextended breakout. So what I would notice is that after this candle had stopped me out, 15 minutes later, you would have something like this, where this candle will close right above the range, right? Boom. And now you have a proper break and retest, right? So once I started noticing this, I'm like, man, if I just wait 15 more minutes, I can be involved in something that's way more cleaner, because after this candle does this, right, you have a breakout, break and retest there, a range 2. So now you wait for the next candle. Same idea there, right? Same entry model, same idea there. You wait for the bottom wick, you put your stop loss at the break of the highs, and then almost always this would happen, right? So if I had waited 15 more minutes, I would have got the better trade, but instead I was impatient and I got in on the overextended breakout. But that overextended breakout was there as a design to get me liquidated, right? So I started to figure out, how can I avoid that and avoid being the liquidity, and just being a little bit more patient and then getting the better trade. So this is where the break and retest came into play. So yeah, that's the break and retest, man. Pretty simple. You see how this is really easy to follow along, and it's pretty simple. You know, it's not overcomplicated. We're not looking at nothing else. We're just looking at your resistance and your support. And then you're looking for a breakout above that range. And if the breakout is pretty good, you take it. If it's overextended, then you wait for the break and retest, and then you're ready to go. Easy peasy peasy weezy, right? So this right here, these two setups, if they show up I would say at the very least, if you sit there and you just wait for this, bro. If you just wait for this, these setup, I promise you, and I've collected the data. We've proven it in the academy, where these setups show up at the very least 1 or 2 times a day. So if you just sit there and you wait for these setups, and by the way, this is all on the 15-minute time frame, right? So let me put this up here, 15-minute time frame, right? This is only on the 15-minute time frame. I would not go anything lower than that, right? So this is on the 15-minute time frame, and these two setups, when you combine them together, they have an 85% win rate. So if you just go out there in the market and you take breakout trades or break and retest trade, you already have a higher win rate than most ICT traders. You know, you already have more of a higher win rate than most ICT traders. You know, so now we're gonna get into the juicy one. This right here is my favorite setup. We call it the buy off support or the sell off resistance, right? So if you're going to take a buy, it's going to be called the buy off support. And if you're taking sells, it's going to be a sell off resistance. This is the one that you see us take a lot. You've seen this play out so many times in the live stream. If you watch us in the, you know, previously, this is our favorite setup. You know, this is our favorite setup. Has a 95% win rate. This is our money maker, and I'm gonna go through it real quick. I'm gonna show you exactly how it looks, how it works. I'm gonna explain it just like I've explained these ones. And let's see. Let me go through the comments real quick though. Do you trade gold, and what sessions do you think this setup finds most? Oh, okay. So let me show you something real quick. I do trade gold, but that's not these setups are not limited to just gold, right? So great question there, man. I do go live every single day for London session. Every single day on my TikTok, every single day, right? Day after day after day after day. Man, don't stop, right? So what session does this work on? Let me show you a little bit of data here that's gonna help you out with this stuff here. So this is called our journal for this quarter. So if we're looking at the sessions, right, individually, we're looking at Asian session, you know, having an 86% win rate. 40 out of 43 trades that we've taken this quarter, we've only lost 6. So in 3 months of trading this, you know, this is just 3 months of data. You know, this is not the whole year. This is just this quarter. This quarter, we've only taken six losses on in Asian session, right? London session, 53 trades. We have the same win rate. So you see how Asian and London has the same win rate, but that London, New York session is our best session. 95% win rate. So this is telling me that it doesn't matter when you trade this, you're still going to get the best results. You're going to still get, you know, pretty good results. So we trade all 4 sessions in the academy, right? But if I was to answer that question for you, bro, I would say, hey, look, these setups, bro, they work every single session. Doesn't matter what you trade, and you know, that's it. So it doesn't matter what you trade. You can trade cattle, bro, and this will work as long as it candlesticks, right? So this right here are for individually each one, right? So each setup right here. So yeah. So let's keep going here, man. Let's keep going. So the strategy is called this, man. You're seeing the strategy live right now. I don't know if you just got here, but or you've been here a minute. I'm literally explaining the strategy right now. The strategy is called the Playbook, right? It's the King of Kings Playbook. That's it. I would not. We don't trade pocket options. I would not recommend trading pocket options. Just trade futures, man. Futures is the way to go. Pocket options, you're not gonna see price action like this. It's not gonna work for you. And it's also a little scammy, right? It's also a little scammy. London session, good to know. Yeah. So exactly, right. So this is the best. Best thing to do is just wait for a Playbook setup, right? So let's see here, man. Let's keep going here. So let's talk. We've talked about the breakout trade, right? We've talked about how you come to the market, you have a ranging market, you wait for your resistance, you mark your support, and now all you have to do is wait for a candle to close above the range, and then you take the trade. You know, you take the proper entry model all the way up. And if it's overextended, now you just wait for the next candle to close bearish, and then a breakout of that new resistance there, and now you can take a break and retest. So what happens if there's no range in the market, right? What happens if you come to the market and there's just simply just not a range, and it looks something like this? You know, you're coming to the candle like this, and it's looking like this. You know, and it's coming back down, and more than likely you start hitting like a nice little support level down here at the bottom of the range, and now your candles are looking like this. Let me draw the wicks on them. And what happens when you don't have a range, right? So more than likely what you can do is you can wait for the next candle right here. Boom, right? This is what we call the buy off support. Simple, simple. So now all you wait is for this green candle to close bullish, and you got the candle's got to look like this, right? It's got to look like this. It's got to have a big body, a small top wick, and a massive bottom wick, right? This is how that the support and resistance candles, the buy off support candle looks like, just like this, right? So this is what we call the buy off support, right? And then obviously you wait for the next candle. You got to use the entry model, right? Wait for the next candle to give you a bottom wick there, and then you place your buy stop at the break of the highs, and now you go, here you go, boom, straight to TP. This is our most profitable setup. If you come to the market and you have, you know, a nice little pullback in the market and you see a nice support, take that. That's a 95% win rate setup, and more than likely you're going to hit full TP, and it's just going to go on you. So there you go. Simplified, right? It's that simple, man. It's literally that simple. I just explained all three setups in less than 20 minutes. You know, there's guys out there who literally spent hours, 10, 20, 30, 40 hours explaining something that never even works, right? So I just explained something to you that literally yields a 95% win rate and has been proven to you day after day after day after day in the academy. These setups work. And I'll show you some examples right now of what they look like in the real market, and then we're going to go over them. But first, let me get into the entry models, right? So we've talked about one entry model so far, right? We've talked about one entry model so far, right? The entry model is called the previous candle entry, right? So we talk about previous candle entry, and now we can talk about current candle entry. So what happens when the candle looks like this, right? If you missed it, it's fine. We're gonna it's gonna be in the Discord. So hop in the Discord, and then you'll be able to access it from there. We'll upload the video there. So there we go. Let's say the candle looks like this. Instead of having a nice support like that, let's say you have a nice top wick like this. My bad. Let me go. Let's say you have a nice top wick like this, right? So this is the previous candle entry model, right? And now you wait for, now at this point it's hard to enter here because now you'll be a little late to the party, right? So if you enter there, more than likely, you're going to be a little late to the party there, and it's not really the best setup there. So now what you got to do, all you got to do is you got to wait for the next candle right here to give you a top wick. So more than likely this candle will open up, give you a tiny little top wick, and then come back down to break the lows like that. So that's just going to look like this, right? So you got a nice little top wick there, and then a bottom wick. Let me make this a little bit better. Something like this, right? So the candle comes up, gives you a top wick, and then it comes back down to create a bottom wick. So now you enter this trade at the rebreak of the previous high, the current high, right? So we call this the current candle entry. So now you're entering this trade as this candle rebreaks its own high, right? Boom. As it rebreaks its own high, now you can use this wick here on the left as your partials, and then you can continue taking the move all the way up. So that's the difference between the current candle entry and the previous candle entry, right? Easy. So now you have a full-blown system that yields a 95% win rate, and you have all the setups. You understand how they work. You have the entry models, and now we can get into some example, man. Let me show you a few examples of these setups, and yeah. So let me remove all this stuff here, and then I want to go into my journal, right? So let me bring my journal here, the Discord journal. This is my journal, right? So let's go very quickly into my journal right here. So look at this. This is a 90%, 95% win rate. This is the buy off support. This is what that looks like, right? Beautiful buy off support right there. This was last week's trade. So we're going to go through the trades we took last week so that you guys can see that these setups do show up in the market, at the very least once a day, right? So yesterday, today actually for Asian session. Well, it was yesterday, Asian session. We took one nice little buy off support straight to TP. Beautiful, beautiful setup there. I think it was like 40, 50 pips. And then this one here is what we call, you know, a nice little break and retest trade, just like that. And then we go up to this one. This was also another buy off support right there, right? You see how we had the pullback, nice support, straight to TP. Then this right here was also another buy off support. This was a current candle entry though. You see how we entered on the current candle at the rebreak, and then we got partials at the rebreak of the highs, and we went break even, right? So this was a nice little current candle entry model right there. And so let's see, that's a nice buy off support. Right here, this is also a nice buy off support. You see that nice little pullback? We had the support straight to TP, right? So yeah, I mean, these setups show up every single day, man. You just got to look for them. So this is the inverted version of the buy off support. This is called the sell off resistance. It's the same idea. It's just you know, the sell version of it, right? This right here, this was called the breakout trade. You see how we had the range, you had the support there, we had resistance up here, and we waited for the breakout, and now there we go, straight to TP, right? Same idea here, sell off resistance. Yeah, same thing, man. So these are all the trades we took last week right here, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful setup. So now you've seen them play out live. And if you need any more information, man, you can always, always, always just go straight into the YouTube videos that we have. And you know, we have a lot of YouTube videos on my TikTok, on my YouTube, and we have examples, trade recaps, live trades. You can watch the live streams, the previous live streams, and this right here, this video, along with those live streams, along with all the other videos, are gonna make you a way better trader than you know, whatever it is that you're doing right now. I promise you, right? So now I think I'm gonna open it to a Q&A. I think this it's about time for me to end this video here. It only took like 30 minutes. Yeah, 26 minutes, man. So that's it, man. That's the King of Kings playbook. I'm glad you watched it, and I'm glad, and just rewatch it again. And if you have any questions, you know, you hop in the Discord with us, ask away in the general chat, and somebody's gonna help you. I'm gonna help you. You know, somebody in there who already has been through the process that you're trying to go through of learning the playbook is gonna be able to help you. So, and that goes for everybody. You know, you guys in the live stream right now, if you want to hop into Discord, you know, we got you there, man. And this video here is gonna be uploaded to my YouTube unlisted, and I'll put the link in the free resource channel. Some of you guys know what that is, the free resource channel in my Discord. This video is going to be right there accessible to you, that you can watch and replay and replay and replay. But for now, I think I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to use